Frenk Гаффни, as disturbingly, you, the Committee on the Present Danger, many of my best contacts throughout, says there's something that's a little uneasy now about Taiwan and the ramp up of this kinetic show of force of the Chinese Communist Party. What say you, sir?
Steve, that you've got things hotting up in Ukraine at the very moment that the Chinese look as though they could go for it at any moment. And this is one of the most important takeaways from the analysis that our Committee on the Present Danger China has been doing for about 4 years now, by the way, is the Chinese have inexorably enhanced their ability to essentially go from a standing start to some kind of operation against Taiwan. It could be just a blockade. That's relatively easy. It could be fifth column operations supported by special operators, not out of the question by any means. It could, though, I'm afraid, involve much more far-reaching attacks than just on Taiwan. We see a very high altitude aerial surveillance platform over the Philippines at the moment, staring down at Subic Bay, where we might be restoring our presence, something you remember from the old days. But whether it's South Korea, which is now getting a lot of very annoying action from the North Koreans, or whether it's Japan, which is being threatened not only by the Chinese, by the way, but by the Russians and the Chinese in a series of military exercises clearly aimed at Japan and its islands in close proximity to the islands of Japan. Maybe it's, Guam. How about that? Maybe it's our carrier battle groups. Maybe it's even Hawaii. Not least, Steve, because Chi Hao-chen, about 20 years ago, he was the defense minister of China, general officer, said in a closed meeting of party cadre, there's going to be a lot of talk about Taiwan, but the main enemy is the United States, and we're going to be acting against it. And they've got a lot of efforts underway, I think, to do just that. So this could go ugly very, very quickly. And I think that the point is, we've been saying for, at least since April of 2021, there are specific things that we could do to make that a much less appetizing idea for the Chinese Communist Party. By and large, none of them have been done. And as a result, I think that especially with what's going on inside China, and you've been covering this relentlessly, it's the real estate catastrophe, it's the banking crisis, it's the demographic nightmare, it's the COVID thing. Now, a horrific pandemic is burst out in the absence of their zero COVID policies. For all these reasons, I think Xi may well calculate that he needs to do some social engineering. And the way totalitarians do that is to get people focused on something else. Rally around the flag, fight that foreign enemy.
With all the other geopolitical, because they're trying to control the Eurasian landmass, you saw Turkey now, looks like they've thrown in with Russia, Iran, Pakistan, with the CCP on trying
China
to consolidate the Eurasian landmass. But you said relatively easily they could do an air and naval blockade and mount a major fifth column. Remember, about a third of the Chinese population in Taiwan is pro-CCP. You had the guy Guo Run, who was CCP, owns the big Apple contract manufacturer. Is it that you think right now the Seventh Fleet could not break an air and naval blockade, or that the political parties and the political pressure in Taiwan could not put down a fifth column? If you think those two things are achievable, then this thing is 45 seconds to midnight then on the clock.